everybody. Today's video isn't about me or the knowledge I'm going to share with you. Today, actually, I'm not even at any farm to share with you any practices. Today, I'm bringing you some knowledge straight from a wealth of knowledge sitting next to me. I'm not going to talk much. There is something or a particular area in this livestock industry he is so passionate about, and I could so much relate to that. So I said, hey, why not have a chit chat with him, and then together we bring you all of our experiences and help change whatever problem that exists. So my name is Nadia, and before I continue with this discussion, I want you to subscribe to the Farming in Africa YouTube channel if you've not done that by now, and follow us across all other social media platforms. Anyway, I'm going to flip the camera and focus only on my special guest for today. Okay, I shall be back, guys. Love you. Hello.
Hello.
How are you doing?
I'm very well.
Please introduce yourself to me and my beautiful audience.
Yes, I'm Thomas Breuer. I'm working for GIZ in headquarters, and I'm responsible for sustainable livestock development.
Interesting. First of all, where are we? Because this is not the typical setting my audience is used to seeing.
Yeah.
So tell us where we are.
In the beautiful south of Germany, in a village called, or a city called Felderfingen. And here's the Agriculture Training Center, and we have here a wonderful workshop about livestock in Africa.
Beautiful. And Dr. Thomas, you were telling me about your experience growing up and that you are very much related to the industry you are working in at the moment. Can you give me a little more information about your background and how you ended up being a doctor in a field you grew up in anyway?
Yeah, I'm a farmer's son. I'm born and raised in a typical German dairy farm.
Wow.
We have dairy cows and bull fattening and own fodder production. And then I made my way to study and also made my PhD. And now I have the pleasure to work for GIZ, and now I'm planning and designing and also giving advice to the livestock project all around the globe of GIZ.
Beautiful. I want to ask, how intense is GIZ's passion on the livestock industry in Africa?
Well, as I presented before, I had a presentation here.
Yeah.
The socio-economic importance of livestock for economic well-being, but also, first of all, for the nutritional well-being of African people is tremendous. And the second step, the socio-economic importance of livestock. 600 million people in Africa depend on livestock.
Wow.
And once more, a lot of more consumers would like to consume more nutritious food from animal source. So the importance is tremendous.
Wow.
But at the moment, because GIZ is not funding on ourselves, a lot of donors, they shy away from financing a livestock project because it seems to be too complex.
Wow.
In the end, but my theory in general, it's livestock has a very negative image, a very negative narrative is around livestock.
Yeah.
And that is something we could talk about, and we should change that as well, because all our passion goes without not changing that, we cannot further develop this important sector.
Actually, that's the central point for this particular discussion. But before we narrow it down to that, I like a point you just raised about how donors shy away from even sponsoring livestock projects, especially in Africa. Why do you think that is so? Put the central point for discussion aside and throw more light on some other challenges you think are contributing to the donors' is it unwillingness to sponsor certain livestock projects in Africa?
Well, I think that has two sides.
Okay.
One side is in Africa itself. That
Okay.
A lot of donors are acting on the request of the government and the partners, and some of the partners also agriculture in general, but especially livestock sector in Africa, sometimes perceived as an old tradition, an old sector, not a future-oriented sector. Yeah, and in the donor community in Germany or Europe, livestock is seen as a problematic sector,
Wow.
which created emissions for methane, for example, in climate change, which is related to animal welfare issues,
Wow.
which is threatening biodiversity, of overgrazing and other topics. So it's seen as a problematic thing. And lastly, if you want to go into livestock, you need to have a long breath, as we say. You cannot do it in 2 or 3 years. Livestock seems so much intervention in breeding, in
It's a long-term project.
A long-term project, and
Wow.
sometimes that is not on the radar of a lot of them.
You've hit the nail right on the head, and I'm so grateful for your honesty. Of course, you've lived all of these experiences, so yes, the honesty would be there. Now, narrowing it down to something very dear to your heart and our hearts, changing the narrative or the perception people have wrongly about the livestock industry. And Dr. Thomas, I remember sharing my experience with you about how I visit places and I tell them I'm a farmer, and their first question is, "You're educated, aren't you?" And I'm like, "Yes, I am. Were you thinking this industry is only for, forgive my words, illiterates?" And number two, speaking from a gender point of view, people are also usually surprised. A girl, a farmer, because I don't really like to explain exactly what I do. If anybody meets me on the way, ask, "What do you do?" I just say I'm a farmer. And I never get used to the reactions I get from these people, Dr. Thomas. I don't know if you have experienced same in Europe here. I don't know. Please throw some more light on that narrative for me.
Well, it's on us, what I call the livestock family, to talk proudly where we are from, what we do, and that it's, like you said, it's not a livestock farming. For me, farmer itself is the best job in the world.
Wow.
You're self-employed, you can earn money. But when it comes to livestock, you need to be serious about it. It's
Yes.
not. It's more complicated than sometimes crop farming, because animals are like children. So you need to have a lot of responsibilities in
yes.
there. So, and especially, let's say, the zero grazing system, we have barns, and you need to carry about the feed and the fodder of your cattle, is a very responsible one. And sometimes you're right. Sometimes I also experienced that, but with a lot of confidence, I made sure and convinced people that in the end, and I'm personally a best example of that,
Yes.
that out of well, not that poor dairy farmer son, also
Okay.
a nice and progressive technical expert.
I mean, you're a
Good
doctor in the
grown,
field.
Yes.
But I really like a point you've thrown more light on, which is confidence.
Yes.
You mentioned something about how the livestock family should proudly talk about this industry. As a stance, do you think we proudly talk about it enough?
I can confirm on myself. I
Okay.
do, and
Okay.
you do.
Okay.
And all the participants here, we do.
Yes.
These were successful entrepreneurs. By the way, farming is an entrepreneurship, no?
Oh, okay.
And we should do that more. And we should, but also with the same, we should also proactively talk about the problems that are there. Sometimes
Yes.
we only keep on telling, yeah, everything is good. I cannot imagine a world without livestock. It's
Wow.
not possible in nutrition, in a lot of things. But at the same time, we as a livestock community, a livestock family, we need to work about the challenge that we have on animal health, on human health, on biodiversity, on climate. But jointly we can do that. But we need to find the right word, and we need to be honest and straightforward there.
We have to be honest and straightforward. I agree with you. Let me remind you of something you shared with me about your definition of the livestock industry. I was so fascinated because to hear you say you consider even insects, shrimps as part of the livestock world, I want my audience to know that broad perspective you have on the livestock industry.
Yeah, that's correct. You know, I compare it. Sometimes we talk about mechanization, and sometimes people think mechanization is only tractorization. But mechanization is more. And the same counts for livestock.
Yeah.
Livestock is much more than cattle. It's chicken, it's beef, it's camel, it's insects, it's beans, it's aquaculture, shrimps.
Wow.
Everything that we as a human mankind use as a human, as an animal, that we afterwards use the product as a milk, or even after slaughtered and eat it as milk, is the livestock, isn't it?
It is, actually.
And I would say even aquaculture is livestock. I call it bull fattening underwater. It's a farming system, a production system.
Interesting.
So much more broad in our scope is much important. Even though we are cattle people, but nevertheless the definition for me is broader.
Wow. I still can't get over this perspective, and I would never forget it. A little bird just told me he has entered this room today. I told my people we are not at a farm. So you guys should get used to the setting here, okay? We are doing serious classroom business here for your sake. And so if one of the livestock key players has entered this particular classroom right now, please permit me to ask him to join Dr. Thomas for a more insightful discussion. All right, here guys. Oh, Fred, please. A little bird just told me you've entered, so why not? Do me the honors. Say hello to my people for me.
Hi, guys.
You guys, I told you, get ready for surprises. So Fred is here, and actually he was in this particular meeting where Dr. Thomas gave a very impactful and insightful presentation. I'm going to ask Fred, first of all, his impression or thoughts on that presentation by Dr. Thomas. Fred, please, over to you.
Thank you very much, Nadia.
You're welcome.
And hi to everyone. I think to me it was like an aha moment for me for us to finally have a representative from the livestock industry.
Yes.
Who is at the position that he is to advocate and push for.
And there for me, I think I have left a gap for my audience. You guys, I want Dr. Thomas, first of all, to tell us briefly what he spoke about. Then I'll go catch Fred's impression on that, okay? Dr. Thomas, tell my audience what your presentation was on today.
Yeah, well, in a nutshell, I talked about what, who I am and who is GIZ and what is our strategy on sustainable livestock development in GIZ. There was a first part why we discussed about why we need, on both sides, need to change the negative narrative that is still running around livestock.
Yeah.
Then I gave an overview what GIZ is doing, what we call portfolio, which kind of project do we have.
Yes.
And also I gave my technical expectation on challenges and trends, especially on the African country. And then in the last part, I said, well, I invited the practitioners here to exchange with us as GIZ to go maybe also do joint research or whatever, to work together.
And I saw the excitement in your eyes when you talked about how you are meeting those who are practicing it on the ground. These are farmers, actual farmers.
Yes.
And so sitting right next to you is a practicing, experienced farmer. Now, over to you, sir. How did you feel after that presentation from Dr. Thomas?
You know, like I was saying, to me it was just a joy.
Yeah.
Not even from the presentation, but to know that finally we have somebody in his position who understands livestock industry and is speaking, is thinking about it. I think to me that's even like a big win for us. For farming in Africa, we have been from day one trying to create a sustainable business.
Yeah.
So grant hasn't ever crossed our mind.
Yeah.
So we met this ABF grant, which I was like, this is the first time I've seen a grant that is focusing on livestock.
Yeah.
This is amazing. So we applied for it. So today when he was presenting, there were so many things he said, and something that really struck me was that as the population and the country even gets richer, there will be more demand for protein.
Yeah.
And that's something I didn't think about. I was like, so Africa, we call it developing countries, and we are all getting education, better job. That means better revenue.
Yeah.
We will eat better because, I mean, some of us, I don't know about you, but when I was a kid, we will all finish eating the fufu. Then after that, my elder sister will start dividing the meat small for everybody. That is the home I grew in, So why? And it's because my parents were poor. We didn't have enough.
Yeah.
So as the economics of the people grows, so will the demand. So imagine if 90 or 40% of Africans' income grows in the next 10 years, 5 years.
Yeah.
That means that we farmers will be having more demand, which increases the price.
Beautiful.
So I think that was a striking point for me. And then he talked about so many things that I need need to sit down and reflect.
Yeah, I recorded the whole presentation for you. That's how much invested he was in your presentation. We have the whole thing on record. So yes, I would send it to you, sir, and I believe you do magic with it. When I meet minds like this, guys, I never want to end the production already. We spent quite some time here. But Dr. Thomas, I'll take a few words from you because I know we have other plans for the evening. And so talking about sustainability in this particular industry, what main factors would you say would contribute going forward to sustainability in this industry, please?
Yeah, first of all, thanks for this nice word, but I'm not alone. I'm Thomas and Nadia, but also in JZ we have more colleagues working on livestock, and I want to mention one project I named also in my presentation, LiveSys, a new project which is also helping us in this advocating for the right narrative. But coming back to your question, I promote very much also for Africa a strategy called better. Produce more and better with less. So there's a demand coming and we need to do that better. So more productivity strategy is key for Africa, and then it comes to in genetic improvement, nutrition, animal nutrition, animal health, animal welfare. And that in the long will help us to increase production, but at the same time we need to take care that it's going with less biodiversity damage, less climate protection, and that is possible because productivity at the moment is low. In that moment we invest in productivity, the environmental benefits per kilogram produced eggs or milk or fish will increase, and that is something where we can jointly, all of us, the livestock family, can generate a win-win situation.
Beautiful win-win situation. Before I take the few and last words from Fred, let me comment on the hats you guys are wearing. I just can't stop looking at them. Oh, you guys, do you see the farmer shoes? That's really cool, and that was just by the way. Fred, your question or what I would want to take some words on would be advocacy. One of my biggest surprises during this conference, even though we are still at the initial stage of it, has been the lack of advocacy in this particular industry. And I know how passionate that is for you. Please throw some more light on that for me as we wrap up.
Yeah, I think it's important. Doctor talked about changing the narrative and the perception. Anytime I have the opportunity to train or give a speech with students, I ask them, close your eyes and tell me the picture you have of a livestock farmer. And they will always tell you a Fulani man holding a stick, walking by the door. And none of them pictures me. And to me, I think if this is the narrative and the perception that people have, then we have a lot of work to do. And I think that's why farming in Africa, we spend a lot of time and investment into showing people what is possible, showing myself, yourself, and the team we have what is possible. So I think, we have a lot of work to do. And it starts by one fish at a time, telling our story the way it is. And hopefully we can, through that, inspire more people to see it. A story that I always share is a gentleman came to the farm also and was able to touch a cow and a goat. And it's like, this is a miracle. Like, I see cows with long horns and I'm always scared of touching them. But I never, and now that guy has started 20 cows.
Wow.
So I think these stories and so many more are what we need to highlight in our continent to be able to bring it so closer to people and get more people to be part. So advocacy, awareness creation, I think is part of the work that we need to do in the livestock industry.
Thank you so much, my dear two farmers. Thank you so much. It's been an honor hosting you both. Thank you. And on that note, guys, it saddens my heart to say bye-bye for now. But as always, just like Fred has spoken about this advocacy, if you guys don't give us the support in pushing the news about the livestock industry out there, see, today, let me whisper to you that the crop guys are always going to get the highlights and all of the grants and fundings. So you guys should help us to spread the word to, enhance the advocacy about the livestock industry. Okay, we love you so much. And all the way from Feldafing in Germany today, we attended a livestock conference or workshop workshop organized by GIZ. That's the ABF in collaboration with the MGF. That's the Matching Grant Fund partners. And we've got representatives from Cameroon, from Benin, from Burkina Faso, from Ghana, of course, from Kenya, from Nigeria, from Chad. Yes, it's been nothing short of phenomenal. And wow, it's just an experience. It's just an experience. I have to end, but as always, if you've not subscribed to the Farming in Africa YouTube channel and are not following us on all the other social media platforms, hey, you are missing out. My name is Nadia, and all the way from Feldafing, Germany to you guys. We love you so much. Mwah. Bye-bye.